Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the CANAS podcast.
The Thomas Hickey episode.
Yes, the Hickey episode.
The Hickey episode.
This week, we'll be talking about some basketball. The season started this year. We'll talk about some football, a big deal happening in the NFL is indirectly affecting a Canadian.
Yep.
And, hockey. The hockey season's well underway. And, yeah, that's pretty much about it for this week. So, really quick, let's start with maybe basketball. And the Raptors started the season. We've started 1-1.
Nice.
A nice little comeback win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then, unfortunately, a loss against the Canadian-coached Brooklyn Nets. Steve Nash.
Oh, right. Yes. I totally forgot Steve Nash is a coach now.
Yeah. So, very nice to see that a good start, decent start for the Raptors.
Yeah.
It was too tough opposition.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The East is pretty damn stacked this year too. The same old issue. Like, this offense for the Raptors is just not good enough usually, whereas the defense is just ridiculous. So.
And one of the players that you hate gave praise to Siakam after the game, I believe.
Who do I not like?
Irving.
Oh,
Kyrie Irving. Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is garbage.
But he gave praise to Siakam, so.
Hitler can give praise to Siakam, that's all I care. You know, Kyrie Irving thinks the world's flat, right?
No, I know.
He's a flat earther.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he gave praise. Like,
Siakam played unreal,
yeah.
but the fact of the matter is this team isn't, like, the offense is just not its strength. The defense is outstanding, though. But lots of time to work on that still, and we'll see. But
moving over to NFL, I guess.
Yeah, there's really not much. No, you know what? I do want to touch away on one more thing.
Okay.
This year was the most ever Canadians in the starting and like the opening night roster of the NBA. It's in the 20s.
Oh,
it's like 27.
Dang, nice.
Which, thinking about it, like there's 13 players per team, 30 teams. Like 20 doesn't seem like a lot. 27 doesn't seem like a lot. But like the fact if you make the opening night roster, like you're good enough to, be making an impact.
Yeah.
So
for your team.
Yeah. So it's really, really cool to see. I'm very happy about that. And apart from that, honestly, there's nothing much.
Yeah, season just started. You said
gonna look good.
And season just started. You said so. It's nothing really to talk about so far.
Exactly. But
yeah, NFL.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So there was a big trade that went down between Carolina and San Francisco. It was, I believe, it was just CMC, right?
Just CMC.
Just CMC for this year's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounder, and next year's 5th, I believe.
Yeah. I thought they would get at least the first out of it.
I thought they were going to get more, yeah. I didn't expect them to just get the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of this year. But it does affect a Canadian on the Carolina Panthers named Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Will likely now be the primary back in Carolina. He's going to have to step up a little bit, though, because they do have a couple of really good backs over there as well.
Yeah.
But Chuba Hubbard is the most logical replacement for CMC back there, honestly, because they play a similar style. Just Christian McCaffrey's so good.
Yeah.
So good. But Chuba has the athleticism to do it. He's a dual threat running back, so... and by dual threat, we obviously mean like he can catch and he can run.
Yeah, so he can definitely step up now that CMC is gone.
He's going to have to, right?
Yeah.
If Carolina wants even a chance at like building for the future, Chuba Hubbard has to be a big piece of that.
Oh, yeah.
Their quarterback carousel is tough. Wide receivers are good. The defense is honestly pretty bad. But it is what it is. So... anything else with the NFL really? Like Chase
not really.
Claypool's not doing much. Like,
he doesn't really have a quarterback.
I don't know. I really like their young guy that just came up, but he's injured now.
Yeah. So like I said,
Trubisky's not very good for throwing.
Like I said, no quarterback, so can't really do much.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess straight to our main event of our podcast.
Do you want to start off the retro jerseys?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's start off with the reverse retro. So Adidas revealed all the reverse retros earlier this week, I believe. Yeah. And there were some that were like actually pretty good, and some that were again lazy. Yeah. Edmonton came, like, it was leaked. Like, everyone kind of guessed it was going to be the Todd McFarlane, but like spiced up a bit. Do you like it? I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. Like I've always been a fan of the Todd McFarlane, like the gear jersey. It's sad that I lost mine during junior high. I think I left it in a class and then I just never saw it again.
Yeah.
But that was one of my favorite jerseys. So I'm definitely gonna get this one just to actually have it again, kind of thing. Yeah. Calgary came out with a really, really clean black jersey.
I don't know.
You don't like it?
I think it's one of the worst ones.
You really?
Yeah, I think it's one of the worst ones for sure.
I didn't mind it. I like it. Toronto basically just came out with like a third jersey that they usually have.
Toronto and Calgary are very similar. Just like so similar to the original ones. What I like about the retro jerseys is that they're different from the normal home and away. That's what you're supposed to. That's the whole point of these reverse retros, is making different than the home and away ones.
Yeah.
If they would have put like the flaming horse or whatever it was before.
They did last year.
Well, if they would have done a better version of that.
They can't really. Or maybe they could with like orange.
TSN and Sportsnet, they all released rankings. Calgary's bottom 3 in all of them.
I don't mind it. It's good. I wouldn't say the worst, because there was a bunch of bad ones, like for like the whole league. Yeah.
So you want to rank them, right? So you give your rankings from worst to first in regards to the Canadian teams.
Let me just grab a picture of it. If I can remember while I'm searching.
I have them open right now, so I can go. So
okay, you go first.
Worst to first. Worst Calgary Flames. That is just that's so lazy, dude. But honest to God, it's such a lazy jersey. Calgary Flames are the worst. Next will be the Winnipeg Jets. Not very basic jersey yet again.
They can't really do much though.
Linked in the description for you guys to see it yourselves too. But Winnipeg Jets, 6th. Then comes the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just basic, nothing different. But I mean, it's clean. It's a Toronto
jersey.
So. Next, I'm gonna put the Next will be the Montreal Canadiens.
Okay.
Montreal Canadiens, I think.
Yeah.
So they're in 5th. In 4th, let's put the Ottawa Senators.
Okay.
Clean jersey, I like that. In 3rd, we'll put the Edmonton Oilers. I think it's good. I just think that the Vancouver one is just so much cleaner.
Then who's first? Because you said 3rd was Oilers, and then you said the next one is Vancouver. Who's first?
That's true. Wait, what team am I missing? The worst is Calgary, so 7. The second worst was... no, you know what? The second worst? Okay, let's go from best to worst then, actually. Let's go from best to worst. The best is the Vancouver Canucks, actually.
Okay, I'll agree. That was going to be my...
Vancouver Canucks
I'll agree that was going to be my first. Because it's different. It's like they use their old colors and they use like... I think that's one of their like shoulder patches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so clean. It's so
cool. It's different.
And they did it so unique, man. So freaking unique.
I like it.
First. Second, we'll put the Oilers.
Yeah, that was going to be my second too. Yep.
I like, again, unique, weird colors, but that's the point of the reverse retro, like just the off colors.
And I like how they went back to like the navy blue, like the dark blue.
Yeah.
And like, I do agree with some people that the orange oil drop looks kind of weird.
That's why they wouldn't be first for me. I think the oil drop looks just weird. Like they could have done like the exterior of the jersey a little. I don't know.
I think Chris was talking about it. He mentioned that if it was with orange trim around the logo, it would have been a little bit better. made it pop a little bit more.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would agree with Chris on that one.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's put Montreal Canadiens in third. They like the reverse retro that they did was very much like way back in the day. Like a blue jersey for the Montreal Canadiens is like back from like the 1920s.
And I don't mind the baby blue. I like the baby blue.
It's a decent jersey. Yeah. It's a decent jersey. It's like the perfect jersey for an outdoor game.
Yeah.
But it's a good jersey. It's a good jersey.
I don't mind that.
Yeah. But then the other four just actual doo-doo.
And yours is from there, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Toronto, Calgary.
Yeah.
Mine would be... I honestly... Okay, now looking at the jersey again, I would say from fourth, right? Fourth? Yeah. Fourth, I would say Winnipeg. I do like I like the color scheme a little bit. It just... I'm more of like a cool color kind of person. So like the dark blues and like that kind of blue I really like. So that I don't mind. And then fifth for me would be Ottawa. It's nice and clean.
So we flipped them around. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I do like, compared from Calgary and Toronto, I like Calgary more than Toronto. Toronto is basically
4, 5, 6, 7 hours are
flip-flop. But it's like Toronto is basically just a jersey they had like a couple years ago kind of thing.
But Toronto's never been a team to shy away from their tradition. They've never once had a different.
This is reverse retro though. It's so boring.
It's boring, but like they've never had a different jersey like that.
Yeah,
they've just been weird, different shapes of the Maple Leafs. That's
true.
Like,
yeah, like
the
it's
fact, like they've never done it before. I didn't expect much, which is why I'm like, okay, like it's not bad. I was expecting a lot more out of Calgary because this one's awful. Also, why does that like red line stick up, like go from the bottom to the middle of the shirt? Like, that's so dumb, dude. It's such a bad look. And like Calgary in black, no.
They've worn black a couple times.
Yeah, they've worn black a couple times, but it's like the flaming Bronco, whatever you want to call them.
It's Blasty the horse.
Blasty the horse. Find a way of incorporating that, man. Like
they already did.
No, just be better.
They already did last time they did the reverse retros.
Many people agree that one's awful.
Blasty was good though.
Okay, of all the NHL, which one's your favorite though?
Out of all the NHL,
I really hope
it's
you pick
stuck.
one,
it's stuck between. Because I know Buffalo's coming back with the Buffa head, but in black and red, and this one is using their blue and yellow, which is all right, but I'm definitely gonna get a Buffalo jersey later, but it's not this reverse retro. I'm gonna go with either the Speed Penguin or Pooh Bear. So Pittsburgh or Boston.
Pittsburgh's classic.
Yeah.
Boston
with Pooh Bear. Yeah.
All right, so you said two. I'm really happy that I got to pick two. These are two. One is unbelievably unique, and one is. Really
I'm just more for me. I guess I'm more nostalgia because they did have Pooh Bear and they did have Speed Penguin.
So I love Florida's. I think it's
Florida's is good. I like Florida.
The color
yeah.
of it, again, baby blue. Freaking love that, man.
That one's good. I do agree with that one. Yeah.
But for me, bring it back to the days of the California Golden Seals.
With the Sharks?
The San Jose Sharks one is clean. Like, I understand it literally just says Sharks in the front, but like, you can't get more simple and nostalgic than that. Bring it back to the California Golden Seals times. It makes no sense to have a shark, those colors. They're just bringing it back to the roots of that franchise with, again, the California Golden Seals years ago. From, I think this website says, ESPN says it's from 1974.
Dang.
I think it's just, I love the nostalgic of it. I love the bringing back, like, the Sharks program doesn't have much of a history in itself.
No.
Anyways, not like, the Boston Bruins, any one of the original six, really. So they could have gone a lot of different ways. I thought the San Jose Sharks one was beautiful. Just so basic and so nice. So
yeah, for me, honorable mentions would probably be the Washington Capitals bringing back the Screaming Eagle one. Mm-hmm. That one is so nostalgic. I'm going with nostalgia here for my favorites. And probably the funniest one, because it's, I think, regarded one of the worst jerseys, but they brought it back regardless, is the fisherman one for the Islanders.
I was gonna say I like the Arizona one too.
Arizona I like too.
Pretty good too.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to put a link in the description so that they can see what we're talking about. Otherwise, everybody listening is like, "What the heck?"
Well, they probably already seen it, but we'll still put it on just in case. So favorite Canadian would be the Vancouver one.
Yeah, I just thought the Vancouver one was unbelievable, man. They did a really good job.
Yeah,
it's really tough for me to cheer for anything Vancouver does, but really good job by them on bringing that jersey for sure. But like now, actually talking about actual hockey, jerseys,
not jerseys.
Surprising, like Vancouver's the last team to not win a game yet.
And
they've given up multi-point or multi-goal leads on all but one game. I mean, sorry. It's just a bad start, bad defense. We knew it was going to be bad defense. We thought their offense was going to be good enough to make up for it. The offense isn't getting them started, but the team defense is just horrific. Other teams get off to disappointing starts. Probably like Edmonton's disappointing start right now.
It's because
I'm not angry about it. Today's loss against the St. Louis Blues, they actually.
I was gonna say like the first like couple games, their starts have been sloppy as heck.
Sloppy starts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But now like the last, I would say like today's for sure. Against Carolina, a bit better, I guess. But they started to like actually like get it together and actually like play as a team and not like leave Campbell or Skinner like high and dry. So like you said, I'm not too worried either about the Edmonton start, but
they're just not finishing their chances.
Yeah.
Today they had a bunch of grade A chances.
Yes, they have.
Finished anything. Livingston played great. Don't get me wrong, but not good enough. Like they have elite scoring. Their offense is going to be the thing that's going to win them the championships. They have to do a better job at it. And it's going to come with time.
Yep. Season is like super early, so
I'm not scared. This is also a very tough homestand. They had two teams that were not in the playoffs last year, and the other three were like cup contenders.
Yeah.
Genuine, legitimate cup contending teams were the other four. The next team's going to be Pittsburgh. It's going to be a very tough match against Pittsburgh. Calgary's off to the start I thought they would be. Markstrom started off cold. His like sub 900 save percentage so far, but that's going to change.
Yeah.
Heck of a goalie. Another incredible goalie on that team is Vladar, and then they have Dustin Wolf in the ranks.
In the minors,
that is quite possibly the strongest goaltending depth in the entire NHL. And then Calgary's as good as I thought they would be.
Yeah, and Winnipeg is playing pretty well as well. So they're starting to bring it back together, like not like last year where they were just all over the place.
Yeah.
Now they're playing well. So
Vancouver again. Like I mentioned, I think they'll be able to break out from this, but they have to start righting the ship. Yeah,
they can't keep losing multi-goal leads and then losing.
Very important for them to get out of this funk. For sure.
And then
Toronto,
Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. Looking at the standings right now, all have the same record.
3-2.
3-2. And
surprising first off, Toronto's beaten some good teams, but the teams they lost to were Arizona and Montreal.
Yeah, like
what did you
I saw a video on YouTube or on Twitter or something, but it was like since January of 2022 they played Montreal, Arizona and Buffalo 10 times. Mm-hmm. Their record for this calendar year between those three teams is 1-8-1. So that's like only 3 points they got out of teams that they should have beaten. They should have gotten 20 points, but they're only have 3.
Worse against those three teams than they are in the first round of the playoffs, man. That's just embarrassing.
But
Edmonton lost to Buffalo, so we can't really talk.
Yeah, we can't really talk. But Comrie is playing outstanding, so gotta give credit where credit is due. But yeah, Ottawa's playing really well, and Montreal surprising everyone is playing really well too. Their young stars are shining, and showing that they're not going to be in a rebuild for very, very, very long. They'll be in a rebuild, but not like the Oilers. But
please don't mention the darkness, man.
But I can see Toronto just stepping up and just winning a bunch of games and not really worrying about the start right now. So
yeah,
it's not too bad for Toronto. But if Montreal and Ottawa keeps this up, well, they will have to watch out, because if those three if they keep playing like they're playing right now, they could probably fight for like a wild card spot or something.
I said at the beginning of the season, I thought Ottawa was going to be competitive. I thought that Ottawa was going to compete for a playoff spot, narrowly missing out.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to compete. I didn't think it was going to be 5 from the Metro and 3 from the Atlantic like last year. Or no, it was 4 and 4. But I didn't think it was, because the Metro's unreal. The Metro's so stacked. But I do think Washington's are going to regress. I think Washington's not as good of a team, and I think they actually miss the playoffs this year. And I think one of Ottawa or Detroit gets in somehow. Because Detroit's another good team.
Detroit's another good team, yes.
Looking really, really
They haven't lost yet after the 4 games they've played. Well, they've lost in overtime, but not in regulation.
Yeah.
So,
but there's only one undefeated team left in the NHL, and it's St. Louis is 3-0. So 3-0-0.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, it's nothing to be worried about yet. It's so early in the season, but you really, once you're a quarter of the way into the season, 20 games,
then you have to
at that point, it's like, okay, now this is getting serious, because there's no excuse for rest anymore. None of that. It's really important that we get in there. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's really important that they smarten up, they pick it up a little bit, and just see where it takes us, I guess.
But it's early, so it's only 5 games for most of them, 6 games for a few. So we just have to wait and see how things play out. And
Calgary's had some really tough oppositions too. They had similar opposition to Edmonton so far.
Yeah, but they've finished their chances.
3-1, I think, or 4-1.
3-1.
3-1. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game again today against Carolina. It's gonna be a highly motivated Carolina team after losing to the Oilers a couple days ago. Seriously, no massive surprises yet. Maybe a couple surprises could just be the scoring leaders, but that always happens, right?
Yeah,
that always happens. So, but anyways, anything else that you wanted to add in regards to
hockey? No, not really.
Hockey? No. That's a short little.
I just kind of wanted to talk more on the reverse retros.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the concept of reverse retros. I just wish some of them would have done better.
Yeah.
But,
whatever.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
That's less jersey sales for them. Oh, speaking of jersey sales.
Yeah, we should talk about that actually.
What was I gonna say? Is it the players or the NHLPA?
Soccer Canada or NHL? Wait, are we talking about soccer or hockey?
No, we're talking about hockey.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about soccer too. No, I'm just saying, like, if they pay off the escrow,
4 million,
4.5 or something in cap instead of the 1. So let's buy some jerseys. Let's help them out so that we can get more money for the Oilers to spend on players.
No, you mentioned, speaking of jerseys, but did you hear the Alphonso Davies agent news this week?
No, I read it, like glanced at it, but I didn't really look into it.
The Canadian national soccer teams, men and the women's, the national football teams, have been fighting with Soccer Canada with regards to their contract, their deals. So at the end of the day, the Canadian men were promised that they would get a proceed, like a bonus for qualifying for the World Cup. Soccer Canada's come up and said, actually, sorry, we can't really afford to pay you that. So that really started.
Wait, so Soccer Canada gave them that bonus if they qualified, but they're not gonna.
Told them they'd get the bonus if they qualify, but then they're not getting it anymore. Yeah, it's ridiculous, absolutely. But that said, so
it looks like Canadian sports organizations like Hockey Canada and Soccer Canada are useless. Yeah.
Absolutely. But so all of that being said, Alphonso Davies' agent has come out and said that they're only the companies are only the direct sponsors of Alphonso Davies are able to use his image for ads. So Alphonso Davies is no longer allowed to be marketed by Soccer Canada on any of their World Cup qualifying campaigns. And his agent has gone out to say, until players get proceeds and royalties from their jersey sales, you are not allowed to sell another Alphonso Davies jersey.
Dang.
Alphonso Davies' agent has, like, that for me is the final nail in the coffin for Soccer Canada. If they want to make any money out of this World Cup, they need to be able to have Alphonso Davies pictured.
Yep.
And they need to smarten up and really take... Like, don't give me that BS excuse that you can't pay the players, men and women, more money for qualifying for the World Cup. Okay? You're making extra money. Were they planning on qualifying for the World Cup and spend money they didn't have? If that's the case, fire all of them. Like, they need to just... That was a huge, huge loss for Soccer Canada. The fact that they were not able to, they're not able to use Alphonso Davies' image anymore. But it's a fact. Soccer Canada doesn't he can play and everything and all that. And like even Jonathan Davis' celebration hiding the Nike logo because they weren't going to renew a contract with Canada and make new jerseys. That's another BS thing too. Like that's another way of Soccer Canada just not making money. And that's for me. It's on that falls on the executives of Soccer Canada.
It falls on them. Yeah, like good on his agent for saying that because, I definitely support Alphonso Davies and his agent for sure.
And they're standing up for not just the men's game but for the women's team too. Like they need as unfair as it may sound, as ridiculous as it could and as it could sound and everything, but like. At the end of the day, there's more money in the men's game than the women's game. And the men acknowledge that, and they want to give part of their winnings and part of their proceeds also to the women's game. Like, they want to be able to split it up pretty fairly and equally. And that's part of the negotiations. The women are supporting it as well. And the men, sure, they want to make themselves more money, but in retrospect, they make more money, the women make more money soon. And Soccer Canada needs to, like... If they're actually serious and they actually don't have the money to pay him... They're making millions upon millions of dollars. Not just that, FIFA pays the respective clubs, I think it's $10,000 per day that the players in the World Cup, whether it's in a starting position, on the bench, or just in the 23-man roster. Like, the clubs are making money as well from this. So it's like FIFA, and it's not just the clubs that are going to make it, the federations are going to make a ton of money and from proceeds of the ticket sales and all that kind of stuff. Like, how can you tell me that they're not going to have, like, you can't afford to pay them the bonus you originally promised them? Like, how? Like, you get a certain amount of money for qualifying, too. Like, did you already spend that? Think, like, back in, like, August of last year when you were, like, in first place? Like, oh, yeah, we qualify for the World Cup.
Definitely.
Like, they had to have done that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, 100% they had to have done that. Just ridiculous. It's also next to impossible to find soccer jerseys here. Like, they don't sell them like the Sport Checks of the world. They don't sell them anywhere. How are you expecting to make money if you don't even sell your jerseys? For the games here in Edmonton, we couldn't find jerseys. I wore my old, like, super old jersey from like 7 years ago, and a hockey jersey I think at one point I brought. But no, I bought hoodies. I bought hoodies from Walmart. Soccer Canada just said Canada. Soccer Canada is making no money off of that. Would I have spent extra money to buy Soccer Canada approved or like sponsored jerseys? Yeah, I would have. Absolutely, I would have. Did they have it available for everyone? No. Not even. Canada flags weren't even freaking available, man. Like, what a disgrace. This organization needs to wake up. Like, your country's in the World Cup for the first time in a long time. This is the most hype you've ever had for a national team on the men's side. By far. Never in your existence have you had this much hype for your men's national team. And they're completely squandering it. Completely squandering it. But and maybe we'll touch base last on F1. We'll say one last thing. Lance Stroll's qualifying 7th?
It's looking like it with 17 seconds left in Q3 right now. We're recording on Saturday in the evening during, I guess, the qualifying. Yeah, I guess he's going to start 7th.
That's not bad at all.
No, that's actually really good.
Yeah. That's
wow. Okay, it's done. Qualifying is done.
Behind Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, Stroll is the highest Big Three qualifier.
Yeah, well, everyone's gonna finish their laps, I guess, but he's gonna start in the top 10, which is actually really good. So, congrats on Stroll.
There you go.
Nice.
Well done.
Well, there's a positive note to end on.
And to finish on the negative, Latifi was last.
Well, that's not surprising.
You know what we haven't done in a while? Our Ben Stelter Performer of the Week.
Okay. Ben Stelter Performer of the Week. Lance Stroll starting in 7th. Honestly, that's really good, to be honest, because Lance Stroll has been having a hard season this year in Formula One. To start 7th, I think he's starting 7th, so that's pretty good. I'm happy.
And
that's mine.
I guess my Ben Stelter Performer of the Week will be quite possibly the biggest steal of my NHL fantasy draft.
Oh, and he's Canadian?
Kalen Addison.
Okay, he's Canadian.
The power play quarterback of the Minnesota Wild, third pairing right shot defenseman, but is a power play specialist. He was the top performer of my fantasy team this week so far.
Dang, nice.
Yeah. And I got a pretty decent fantasy team, so it's not like I got 5 points this week from my best guy. Like, no.
No.
15 points from Kalen Addison, I think, is what I ended up getting from him this week out of 3 games. So, pretty darn good performance by the guy so far. He was originally owned by 2% in Yahoo, ranked in the thousands. He's up in the top 50 or top 80 at the moment. So not bad for a defenseman with our point system.
No, not bad.
So, Kalen Addison, my friend, will be my Ben Stelter Performer of the Week.
Nice. I like that.
So I think that's everything. Unfortunately, we won't be able to record next week.
No.
The following 2 weeks will also be a challenge, but we'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out, yeah.
You'll probably have to hear me on the phone again. I apologize for that. But apart from that, just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode 42, the Hickey episode.
Yep.
Of the CANAS podcast, the Thomas Hickey episode of the CANAS podcast. And we will see you in a couple weeks.
See you later.
CANAS podcast.